Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
Well, I was just going to introduce why I'm starting these oracle stories, which
Awesome.
is that I've been taking these goddess portraits for 20 years. And the reason I made the oracle deck and book is because I learned so much from each woman that I had the joy and privilege to make portraits of, co-create portraits. I learned so much from each woman, and I wanted to share that with everybody. So all my work is about sharing it, and what better way to do it than this new technology of doing Instagram Live, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a
So
great platform.
it's a great platform. So I'm so glad you're my inaugural goddess, and partially because you're responsible for making the oracle deck.
Stop it.
Yeah. Well, everybody, Maya really convinced me. How long ago was it? 4 years? 3 years?
A few years ago, yeah, at this point.
I had already done a small little deck, and Maya said, "No, make it bigger. Go, make it, expand it, write the book," which was very hard for me, and you helped me with that too. Thank you. And it's all because of you, so that's why we're here today.
Oh, Lisa, it is all you, but I appreciate that. It was nice to be a part of the the birthing of this.
Definitely, you're a midwife
I'm a midwife of the deck. I love that.
and a priestess. You have grown into a priest. You are a priestess.
Thank you, Lisa. That means a lot.
So I've been thinking before you got on, I was thinking about how long I've known you, probably since you were, I mean, 8. Okay, and you're how old now?
27.
Right.
It's been a while.
And I have seen, it's been a joy to watch you grow up, to see you change and develop. And I'll be following you for a while.
I hope so, because I'll be following you.
So for everybody who doesn't know, I did create a portrait with Maya when she was 12, which was in the Goddess on Earth book I have right here. And here is Maya's portrait when she was 12, as Artemis then. Can I read to you what you wrote?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You wrote, "I strive to have Artemis's strength, but it's so hard to be independent. I feel lost and lonely sometimes, even when I'm with my friends. Artemis represents strength, independence, self-reliance, and courage, all qualities I wish I had." So powerful. It was so real, of a
Yeah,
12-year-old.
sitting in your living room crying, being like, I don't know.
I remember that.
So that was a day.
How were you feeling then? And well, you explained it, that you wished you had that feeling, the Artemis, that strength.
Yeah, that was definitely, I mean, like I'm sure for many of us, preteen, teen time is kind of a rough time. That was a especially difficult time in my life for many reasons. But yeah, I was definitely struggling with being with myself and finding myself and connecting with myself. And whenever I saw an image of Artemis or heard her story, it really, I wanted to be that. And not only her independence and her sovereignty, but her protectress qualities, where she, felt so strong that not only she was strong for herself, but she was strong for those that she protected, which was, the beings of the wood, and women particularly. So yeah, that was definitely something that I connected with. And I also, when I was around that age, was, sorting out my sexuality and figuring that out. And one of my spiritual teachers in our realm had mentioned to me that Artemis was a big deity in the lesbian community, and I identify as pansexual now, but when I heard that, it was very triggering for me because I was like, oh my god, like I was being forced to face my non-heterosexuality just because I felt connected to this goddess. And that was a big piece of the difficulty for me, and accepting that, and also like connecting to her, like really connecting to her, which is why I think I had a hard time writing that bio, because I still wasn't really at peace with that. But yeah, to answer your question in a long-winded response.
But it's so pithy. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but it's so right on that an archetype, a story, a myth could be so profound for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was really at such a crucial age too, which
Yeah.
is why these stories are so good for young girls,
Mm-hmm.
to see all the possibilities that are open to them.
Yeah, young anyone's really. It's the archetypes are, just these. Doesn't matter what your gender identity is. It's just how you connect to that energy.
Yeah. When I look at your portrait, I'm going to go show it again. When I look at it, there was this. I think you were protecting. Trying to get the glare off there. There is a. You are protecting. I felt like in the woods. The animals, but there is a fear. There seems to be a vulnerability and a fear in your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
When I see that, it's youth, but questioning.
Mm-hmm.
And it just blows me away when we go to the new portrait. Well, actually, I have the black and white right here. I mean,
Yeah, radically different in energy and expression.
Can you talk about that transformation? How you, when I read your quote, how I wish I had, and it's like you manifested it. It was your desire. You wanted it. I'm sure there was a lot of work to get there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh, it's interesting because like showing that portrait, like the one that you did for the book, as even opposed to like now where I'm at, because that was 4 years ago at this point, maybe even 5 years. You did
Right.
that when I was like 22 or 23.
Right, for the oracle book.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
for the deck.
Yeah.
And seeing even the transformation from that picture to like how I would probably do it now.
Ooh.
I feel like I've even further stepped into my power. But yeah, it was definitely, I mean, so much self-reflection, so much taking responsibility for my life, my emotions, my thoughts, getting the help that I needed, and taking action, which is what the card is really all about. And the deck is taking action on what you need to do to move forward in your journey, to help others, to do whatever you have to do. And it was a long bumpy road, but I mean I'm still young. I still have quite a ways.
On that road. We're all on the road.
For sure, for sure. And I think a lot of us will always be on that road. But yeah, looking at the two portraits, it's pretty amazing how I've really stepped into that strength and independence. And I mean, I'm not trying to be cocky, but I do feel like so much more of her energy, and identify with that. And yeah, it's been amazing, and it's taken a lot, but it continues to manifest itself.
Well, I can attest to it, having stood in circle with you in ritual when you have led the ritual, and how powerful it is, how you have stepped forward and embraced that role of taking responsibility for your actions, and being so grounded and present, and for other people, for the women in the circle. I'm really privileged to have seen that development.
I mean, I feel like I'm the privileged one to be able to be raised by such an incredible community of women and then to be able to serve them is like, I mean, for me, that's been the dream is to turn around and, be able to give that back and to hold space. And I mean, even with the Women's Sacred Fire, like that's been an incredible learning for me and to, yeah, to be able to grow and to essentially be trained, and then to give that service back has just meant the world to me.
Well, I think not having grown up that way, I came to it in my 40s, our goddess circle and feminist spirituality. It's just remarkable to watch the young girls who I did have the joy to watch grow up. And I'm going to keep following you with portraits, like you just mentioned.
I would love that throughout the decades.
It's going to be like a 7-Up, all you girls I'll be photographing every like 10 years.
I love it. I love it. That's going to be such a cool progression.
Right. Well, the name of the subtext here is with the spirited wisdom